Hey everybody, it's Andy aka Max Rider. We are back with another live stream. Let me see how I sound. Let me see if I'm sounding. I can hear dogs in the background. Yeah, I hear myself. That's awesome. Okay, calm down, Chris. Where is she? Is she in the window? There's Hope. You can barely see her for the glare. Right there. Where's Christy? Christy's out of sight. You can just see her torso there. So, we're back this week with Alone Against the Flames. This was, I believe, originally a free giveaway from Call of Cthulhu. Well, you couldn't get this for free, but you can get a PDF for free. You still can. No, actually, I think it came out in the starter set first, because this is copyright 2016. Let's turn this music down just another notch before... Once we get started, we'll turn it off. And that goes with this. The Call of Cthulhu Quick Start 7th Edition rules. Now, you can get this also for free PDF. You can get the PDF for free from Chaosium. Or you can go to DriveThruRPG. You can buy a little hard copy like I did at some point in the past. This guy is marked 2016 as well. But that's not what we're playing today. We're going to play the copy that comes with the Call of Cthulhu starter set. Here you go. It's right here. Now this one, let's see if there's a copyright date on it. This one is copyrighted. The starter set, which I got as soon as it came out, is copyright 2018. So I think the free, you could get the PDF for free, Alone Against the Flames came out first, and it was later put into the starter set. We'll be playing the starter set one today. Simply because I've glanced at both. They look pretty close to identical, at least as far as number of entries and just everything else that has to do with them. The introduction's a little bit different, and this one requires the starter set to use. And the other one requires the quick start rules to use. Hold on, getting a little organized. What's in the box? Then there's all the loose stuff. And then there's the Book 2 introductory rules that we might need. So, but I looked through this one. I looked through Alone Against the Flames from the starter set. Now, there's also the... That's a great place to stop the music, actually. There's actually a hold on, there we go. Is that better? Oh, my back's hurt. I hurt my back week before last, and it is still hurting. Anyway, there's also the 40th anniversary starter set, which you can get for 7th edition. I don't know if they're still selling both or not. You can find all this stuff on the Chaosium website. If you buy physical copies, you get free PDF, which makes it very much worth it, in my opinion. And that's at chaosium.com. Now, this one... hold on. Let me get the calculator set up, because we have to set up a character too, but I don't think we set up a character until partway through the scenario. We're going to find out. Okay, we got our calculator. Let's stick that right there. And we can slide you in for now. I've never played Alone Against the Flames. I've never read anything about it. I don't know much about it whatsoever. My guess is, since it's Alone Against the Flames, it deals with fire vampires or Cthulhu or something like that. But we're going to find out as we open up. We're going to kind of skim over, like, this book also has the introduction to what the set contains for the basic, for the starter set. Do you hear the call of Cthulhu? The most merciful thing in the world, I think, is the inability of the human mind to correlate all its contents. We live on a placid island of ignorance, in the midst of black seas of infinity, and it was not meant that we should voyage far. H.P. Lovecraft, The Call of Cthulhu. There's an overview of the game. Let's see if there's anything in here that's important. I don't think there really is, just for this. You're going to take the role of Keeper. You will play through this special solo adventure against the Flames to introduce the game to you, but you will also find some starter scenarios in Book 3. Ooh. To play through friends, the scenario provides a scenario. Okay. Investigators can be anything. Most players verbal exchange. Game rules. Okay. Winners and losers. There's no winners and losers. Winning is when you successfully... Well, what does it say? I would say winning is when you successfully complete a story. Whether or not your character survives is up for debate. Whether they succeed in their goal. Losing is what happens if they fail to achieve it. They may be able to try again later. There's an example of play here. Never played a role-playing game before. Something about dice. Oh yeah, dice. Let me get my dice hand here. Okay, we got our dice there. This keeper set came with this really lovely set of dice, which includes a 4, 6, 8 percentiles at 20, and then an extra percentile for bonus and penalty dice, which very nice. Reading the D100. Dice roll variations, blah, blah, blah. Next steps. Okay. So we might have to break this one up when it goes up on YouTube a little differently. My throat's a little scratchy today. And let's see, what's it talking about here? You understand the basic premise. You can take your first adventure alone against the flames. A horror story set in the 1920s where you are the main character and your choices determine the outcome. It is designed to lead you through the basic rules of the game in a gradual, entertaining fashion. Although most such adventures are played with your friends, this one is just for you. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry that there may still be things you don't fully understand yet. The rules are explained as you play throughout the game. You'll even be shown how to create your own investigator. That's what drew me to this. And I'm guessing it's also in the individual book. But I saw that. I looked through some of these next steps in this introductory stuff, and I saw that, and I was like, all right, we'll see how this goes. Before you begin play, make sure you have Book 2 nearby, right here, as you will need to refer to this while you play. You don't need to read Book 2 before playing. You will also require one of the blank investigator sheets from the box, print it out, one of the PDFs, because, as I said, I bought the box, and they sent the PDF for free, which is great. You'll need pencil and some note paper, and I've got pencil. I've got my paper here to keep in mind. Read and follow the instructions, starting with Section 1. Once you've completed the adventure, perhaps surviving or not, you can then read Book 2. But before then, settle in a comfortable chair and prepare to be alone against the flames. I guess I'm in a comfortable enough chair. I feel like I'm a little low, actually, but I think that'll be okay. Don't go out of focus on me, friend. Let's tip you back just a hair. Yeah, that works. Sorry for the mess over here. I'm still working on this room. Okay. So, we will begin alone against the flames. I'm not sure what the date is. Maybe they'll tell us and I'll write it down. Alright. Hold on. Yeah, we're going to get up just a little bit more. Whoa, Joker Cam. Okay. Maybe. Sorry. Oh no! I turned the damn thing the wrong way. Oh my god. Oh, it's a ship at sea! That's too high now. Doggone it. Cameras. They're so great. Alright. We're starting at number 1. This one doesn't appear to have like a deadline, a timetable. It doesn't appear to have a map of any kind. And it doesn't appear to have like points you can get, journalism points or investigative points or whatever. All right, let me take a sip before we start. Alone against the flames. This is the real start. The sun is high in the sky, a merciless ball of heat. You feel scorched by the time you reach the bus stop, the bus halt, in front of Osborne's drugstore. It's a relief to put down your heavy cases and take off your hat for a moment. You fan your face. It's been a long summer here, in your hometown, and yet a curiously empty one. You look across the street at the grubby butcher shop, the grocer's with its faded awning, and the shabby tobacconist. Mistrustful faces glare at you as they pass, eyeing your clothes and luggage. It was your parents' choice to live here, not yours. You were happy down south as a child, among Providence's white-walled houses and leafy churchyards. Perhaps the new job in Arkham will supply the change you need. Yet everybody you know in the world lives here. Now, wait a minute. South of the China, perhaps the new job in Arkham. Yet everybody you know in the world lives here. You know nobody in Arkham, not one soul. You ask yourself one last time if you're doing the right thing. You're not. The answer is here. None of your supposed friends have come to see you off. You're alone. Whatever challenges lie in Arkham, it will be a new life, and a brave one. A small gray motor coach approaches and rattles to a stop. You put your hat back on and pick up your cases. Go to 263. It's jumping us towards the back. And I actually looked at 263 too to see if, like, create your character. What are you going to Arkham for? Blah, blah, blah. Nope. Excuse me, sorry. Two young men with sullen expressions alight from the coach. One looks you up and down before heading away. The driver also steps down, glancing at you, before crossing the road to visit the tobacconist. When he returns, he is rolling a cigarette between his yellowed fingers. He gives it a final twist and examines you as he reaches for his matchbox. He's a thin man in his 50s, dressed in a stained shirt with the bus company emblem, yet his eyes are sharp in their dark sockets. Where to? No. This would be a Providence, Rhode Island. This would be more of a where to? No, maybe not. You show him your tickets for Ossipee. From there, you will connect to Rochester and Portsmouth, before the coastal line to Newburyport, and finally, Arkham. You should be able to afford a rail ticket for at least some of the way. Otherwise, this will be the first of many long bus trips. Mm-hmm. The driver scratches the match and lights his cigarette. The end flares as he takes a draw. Then he exhales and gestures to the back of the coach. Luggage rack's up there. All right, look at your investigator sheet. Oh boy, now we're into character creation. At the top, you have spaces for 8 characteristics: strength, constitution, power, dexterity, appearance, size, intelligence, and education. Allocate the following values among them, writing them in the large square boxes beside each. So we got a 40, 50, 50, 50. Those are average. 60, 60, 70, and 80. If you'd like more information about what these characteristics mean, read page 7 of book 2. When you've done that, go to 8. All right. Oh my God, my dogs are going to bark. So we have a 40. We have 3 50s. Let's write these down. Oh, what in the world? Oh, I got junk on this desk that does not need to be here. I'm like, is this desk bent? It's almost new. 40, 50, 50, 50. 60, 60, 70, 80. 60, 60, 70, and 80. All right. Now, since we already know what some of this stuff does, I think we're going to go for 80 power, because I would really like to have a lot of sanity, and that affects sanity directly. Luck hasn't been touched on yet here. We're going to do a 60 education and a 70 intelligence. Appearance is going to get a 40. Not real good looking guy. It's usually my dumb characteristic in Call of Cthulhu. Not bad looking, just not good looking. Kind of like me. I'm probably a 40 or a 40, 35 maybe, is my guess for looks. 50s are average, so 60. 60 con or size will give us more hit points. Yeah, I guess we'll go. But Dex gets us going faster. We're going to do 60 Dex and then 50s for strength, size, and con. So that means I'm pretty average. I think that's going to be no damage bonus. I'm pretty certain of that. Hit points are going to be 10. They'll probably take us all through this. Magic points are technically 18. No. 16 magic points for 80. And I'm not sure about luck yet. We need to go to 8. So we're in character creation that's going to interrupt the game. Out of curiosity, let's take a look and see how they handle this in the other book real quick while we're in character creation. Because I think they would have sent me, this one would have sent me to 263 as well. I mean, they're probably identical. 263. Yep, it's the same. And then go to 8. Okay, I'm guessing these are going to be completely identical. 8. Okay. I'm going to write stats down. The driver smokes and watches as you drag your cases to the back of the motor coach. The rack is set inconveniently high in the vehicle. You get a grip on the heavier case. If your size is 40, go to 23. It's not. My size is 50. If size is higher than this, go to 38. Ha! I'm not really small. I'm just average size. So we are going to 38. This is interesting. The driver continues to enjoy his cigarette, watching with keen interest as you struggle with the cases. You grit your teeth and heave the second one into place. Perhaps the residents of Arkham will have better manners. Go to 233. Oh, I doubt it. Now, we went to 232 last time. No, we didn't. We went to 263. I don't understand how people write these. This seems like it would be a lot of work to put one of these together. Much more so than just about anything else. The driver flicks his cigarette into the gutter and steps into the motor coach. Its engine coughs into life. You board, grateful that you will be the only passenger for the initial part of your trip at least. With mixed emotions, you watch from the window as the tired avenues of your old hometown slip behind you, receding into the distance. For a few minutes, you can still see the church spire over the brow of a low hill. Then the road dips, and it too is gone. Arkham is your new home. You will travel there and make a new start. I wonder why I'm leaving Providence. What terrible things did I do? All right. You'll see two smaller boxes to the right of each characteristic value. Have each value rounding down and write the result in the upper right box. Also divide each value by 5. Again, rounding down and write the result in the lower right box. We'll use these numbers later. If you are using the interactive PDF version of the investigator sheet, you'll see it does all this math for you. If this actually goes more than one session, I might put this together with the interactive sheet because I really like it. So 30 and 12, 40 becomes 20, and divided by 5 is 8. 60 is 30, 12, 70 is 35, and 14, and 80 is a 40, and 80 divided by 5. Oh my God, I'm blanking. It's right here, 16. Adore. So you're going to mix character creation up with the actual scenario to start with. So I'm just not going to worry about a character creation section once we put it up on YouTube. In the strip below, you will see tracks that record sanity and magic points. Beginning sanity is equal to your original power, 80. That's good. And beginning magic points are the same as the value you've just assigned for power divided by 5. Mark these in the tracks. 16. Yes. Then go to 134. 134. The coach putters the countryside. At first, the interior is stifling and your stomach lurches with every bend in the road. However, the driver opens his window, and by switching seats, you find a spot where the breeze hits your face. You soon relax into the journey, observing the quaint little hamlets that the coach serves. A heavy-set woman boards at one settlement and gives you a polite nod. She gets off at the next one. The road rises a little, passing cornfields and orchards. The leaves are turning and the trees are alive with glorious reds and golds. You have just begun to doze when the driver takes a tight bend at speed. Uh-oh. Add size and con together, then divide that total by 10, rounding down. Size and con together, divide by 10 is 100, divided by 10 is 10. This is starting value for your hit points. Mark it on your investigator sheet. Done. Your current total may drop, but it's unlikely to exceed the starting value. You also have a luck score. Roll 3 six-sided dice. We call this 3d6. Multiply your 3d6 roll by 5 to get your beginning luck score and mark it on your investigator sheet. Sweet. I guess this is kind of an entertaining way of doing this, but I think I use luck a lot different than they do in Call of Cthulhu. 11. It's not bad. It's above average. 55. 55 luck. Because if somebody's like, is this guy home? I'll be like, make a luck roll. I mean, if it's not likely that he's home, or if it's an even chance or it's a low chance. Now you must make a roll against your dex. Roll d100. This means rolling two 10-sided dice. Yep, oops, let's move these. Here we go. And using one value for the tens and one value for the units, unless one die is clearly marked tens die, which we got. All right, so we got to make a dex check. I'm probably going to fall out of the chair if I don't make it. Our dex is 60. Oh, 61. Seriously? That's disappointing. All right. If you rolled equal to your dex or less, you pass the roll. If you rolled higher than your dex, you failed the roll. You may be tempted to skip such rolls and simply pretend you always pass. But Call of Cthulhu is a game of mystery and horror. The terrible disasters that can befall your character are part of the fun. You will not necessarily have more fun if you pass every roll than you would if you fail. If you pass the dex check, go to 261. If you failed the dex roll, go to 59. This is interesting. So I think our bus journey is going to be character creation. I think that's a kind of a neat... it's actually kind of a neat... what do you call it? It's like the trip from Providence to Arkham is also the creation of our character, the transitional period for this main character, for the story itself. A desperate yell awakens you. You feel yourself slide from the seat as the driver spins the wheel and the motor coach plunges off the road. Wait, what? We're not going to make it to Arkham? Too late. You reach for the seat in front. You fall into the aisle and your ribs crash against the edge of the seat opposite. Breath rushes out of you. The coach stops with a thump. Your driver leaps from his seat into the road. As you sprawl, dizzy, in the aisle, you hear a string of incendiary curses. The driver climbs back into the cab and sees you on the floor. He looks concerned and assists you back into your seat. Oh, that's nice. All right, he's been kind of cold to me up to this point. But that's nice that he did that. You see what has happened now. A Fordson tractor has stopped in the road, and he had to swerve to avoid this steel obstacle. Sorry, he says. All them fields, and he has to pick the road to park. Are you all right? You all right? You don't think anything's broken, but you'll have a colorful bruise for the next few days. He backs the coach up a little and threads it around the tractor, glaring at the farmer. You lost one hit point in the accident. Oh, man, that hurts. So we're going to mark off a hit point. Hold on a sec. Oh, needed that. Oh, sorry. Today we're drinking Yingling Hershey's Porter. It's pretty good. But the last ones that they have, they don't carry it anymore where I do my grocery shopping. They had a bunch on sale for half price, so I grabbed them up. But that's probably going to be the end of it once those are gone. Mark the loss on your investigator sheet, but keep track of the original value. You'll eventually heal back up to this value. If you drop to 0 hit points, you'll fall unconscious, and you might die. Go to 71. You resume your journey. The driver takes the curves with more caution than before. He glances over his shoulder at you a couple times. Sorry about before, he says. That fellow was dumber than a hog. I'm Silas. What's your name? Aw. The accident was at least as much Silas's fault as the farmer's. But it doesn't seem shrewd to antagonize the man while he's driving you through the middle of nowhere. Make up a name for your character and record it on your investigator sheet. You may add your age for the purposes of this adventure. Your character should probably be aged between 23 and 36. So he will be 23. He's leaving Providence, so maybe he went to college. He's got only a 60 education. Oh man, the name. I didn't even think about this. What's a good Providence name? I think his last name will be Whittle. Widdle. Jacob? How about Jacob Wibble? Why not? Usually I would look up a name from the area, try to find something that fits, but that's okay. And I added my age. We don't have occupation or any of that kind of stuff. The coach turns onto a narrower road which weaves uphill through woodland. Silas becomes chatty. Going to Arkham, eh? Can't say I ever heard of the place. Went to Boston once. Didn't like it. Too much hustle and bustle. You got family there? A special someone waiting? The afternoon is wearing on. You see no harm in confiding in Silas about your new life. A job, eh? What's your line? Choose an occupation for your character from the following options. All right. We have antiquarian, doctor of medicine, journalist. I've done journalist before. Private investigator or professor. Okay, so in some of the other one-shots, some of the other solo games we've played. I've been a journalist. I've been a professor, a doctor of medicine, antiquarian. Antiquarian. So I don't want to do journalist or professor because I've done those. Doctor of medicine sounds nice. Crap. I don't know. Antiquarian, doctor of medicine, or private investigator. I think I don't want private investigator. So it's either between antiquarian, not antiquarium. Sounds like an old aquarium. Antiquarian, antiquarian, or doctor of medicine. I think we'll go for antiquarian. And let's write that under occupation. And that takes us to 102. Wait. Yeah, 102. I already wrote it down. It's like, wait, we're already there. This is bad. 102. Okay. So Jacob Wibble. Wobble. Sorry. You mentioned the assistant's position you were offered at Arkham Rare Books and Maps on the strength of a recommendation by a distant friend of the family. Thinking about the treasures that must pass through the shop returned some of the excitement you felt upon receiving the letter of appointment. That's right, a job's waiting for me. You feel a tingle in your palms. You cannot wait to get started. Books, eh? Silas takes the conversation no further. You get the feeling he's not much of a reader. Ah, your credit rating skill is 20%. Okay, cool. Credit rating 20. Your occupational skills are appraise. We're going to check these. Art craft. Specify a particular field. History. Library use. Ooh, hopefully that'll be useful. Other languages. Other. Actually, language own is going to be equal to my education. So we might as well put that in right now. And it is English. Oh, our dodge is half our dex. So it starts at 30, which is not bad, but I've got to get that up. Spot hidden. And one of either charm, fast talk, intimidate, or persuade. Well, my appearance isn't great. I think we'll take persuade. I hear a weird rattling noise. Hold on. It's the fan. The fan being on is making something rattle kind of weirdly. Yeah, I don't hear it at all when the fan is off. I don't know what that is. It doesn't matter. Sorry about that, everybody. Brief interruption. You may pick one other skill except Cthulhu Mythos as a personal specialty. Allocate the following values among those occupational skills, writing them in the large square beside each. Allocate the following values. Writing them beside each, ignoring a starting value already mentioned on the investigator sheet. Okay, fair enough. So this time we've got 70, 60, 60, 50, 50, 50, 40, 40. I can't figure out what that is. It's so weird. It's just like a little rattle. This fan doesn't blow hard enough to really do anything, so I have no idea what that could be. Okay. 70, 60, 60, 50, 50, 50, 40, 40. 70, 60, 60, 50, 50, 50, 40, 40. Okay. Then go to 128. We can pick one more thing that we're good at. And Oh, I might not get that dodge as my half dex, but we'll see. I'd rather add this. Well, I'm an antiquarian, so I guess appraise should be the highest. So we'll stick the 70 in appraise. I mean, I'm working for an antique bookstore. Let's do library use at 60. And we'll do spot hidden at 50. I've got art craft. I don't know what I could put there. I haven't picked another one to put either. Let's put history at 60 as well. I still have 250s and 240s. Other language will be 40. I think we'll pick Latin if we have to. Immediately choose one. Let's do persuade. Mark a 40 off. Let's do persuade at 50. What's left? What is left? Artcraft. Oh, we have two left. Artcraft and then one of our own choosing. I guess Artcraft will be what? Bookbinding at 40. Oh. And then we have 150% we can put into something. Oh, I kind of want to put it into stealth. I could put it into fighting brawl, or I could put it into a firearm. I think we'll put it into stealth. Sometimes you gotta sneak around. Christy seems to be uptight about something too. Hold on. That was what the rattling was. Bella had a bone. I'm making sure she doesn't have any more. Excuse me, one moment. Okay, so good girl. Yeah, she had a bone. They're not allowed bones. Bones will splinter and can pierce their intestines. It's not a good thing. Oh, history, Latin, appraise, artcraft, bookbinding. What else would actually fit for that occupation? Because these are occupational skills. I still have a 50 point to put in one of them. My guy's got persuade, so he's more honest than he is like a liar. I kind of want to take fast talk though. I think our other occupational skill will be fast talk. That doesn't really make sense, but that's okay. Okay, let's erase these marks. Okay, there's some of our occupational skills. Go to 128. You realize Silas hasn't made a stop since the incident with the tractor. The motor coach winds its way uphill. However, Your thoughts are interrupted as the road crests a ridge and you are treated to a magnificent view of the vista below. A creek snakes through the valley, breaking the rich autumn palette of the tree line. In the distance, the white mountains rise into hazy cloud. There's no settlement, not even a cabin as far as the eye can see. You know what I forgot to do is give credits. I guess this is by Mike Mason, so... sorry. There's no settlement, not even a cabin as far as the eye can see. Birds drift through the treetops, and you can just make out what might be 2 white-tailed deer lingering by the water. Perhaps you're making a mistake by moving to the city. Could you survive on your own in this lush wilderness? You have the base ability in most skills listed in the brackets after the skill name on the investigator sheet. For instance, you have 20% in climb and a base dodge skill equal to half your dex. Choose 4 skills which are not your occupational skills, nor Cthulhu Mythos. Yeah. These are your personal interest skills. Boost each of them by 20 points. Oh. A 1, 2, 3, 4. At this point, you may like to calculate half and 1/5 values for each skills, just the same way you did with the characteristics. I'm not going to bother with that. Remember to round down. If you are bored of calculations, you can leave the math until it becomes necessary. Or if you're using the interactive PDF version of the investigator sheet, which is great, by the way, if you have a chance to use it, definitely take it. You'll see this does all the math for you. So we have to boost 4 skills. Well, we're going to boost dodge to 50 immediately. That's a no-brainer. Let's put firearms, rifle, shotgun to 45. So that's 2. Stealth is going to come up to 40. And I think I'm going to up navigate to 30. I don't know if this is going to, if any of these will come in handy. Now go to 144. So we took dodge is up to 50. Firearms, rifle, shotgun is up to 45. Stealth is up to 40, and navigate is 30. The motor coach rattles on through the hills, and Silas lapses into silence. The sky darkens behind you, pinks tinting the clouds as the sun descends. I thought we were going to take a train. Finally, a welcome sight comes into view. A settlement on the crest of a hill. That doesn't look like the pictures you've seen of Ossipee, but perhaps you can persuade Silas to stop while you stretch your legs. Minutes later, a harsh stuttering from the engine interrupts your reverie. Silas frowns and rattles the gear stick. Oh, there's a map here. The motor coach falters in its ascent. Silas utters a curse you don't recognize and grinds his teeth, struggling at the wheel. You seem to inch up the hill until you reach the first building. Low dwellings constructed from a rough red stone. Silas wrestles the coach into a small bay off the road. He scrambles from his seat and makes for the engine compartment. You must now choose to roll against Drive Auto or Psychology. Shoot. I didn't put any points into Psychology. Well, we're not changing anything now. My Psychology is a whopping 10%. If you choose Drive Auto, you need to roll equal or less than the skill value. If you choose Psychology, you need a hard success. This roll is a roll equal to or less than half the skill value, the number in the upper right-hand box. You may attempt only 1 skill roll. Well, my Drive Auto is a whopping 20%, and a hard Psychology would be 5. So I guess we'll try Drive Auto, and we're probably going to fail. 13 is a success. Let's put a check next to Drive Auto. If you roll success against Drive Auto, go to 174. 174. That still would not have succeeded against Psychology. 174. The grinding noises you heard... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I wrote it down. The grinding noises you heard could, of course, indicate engine trouble, but they also seem consistent with bad gear selection and incorrect declutching. It seems highly unlikely that an experienced coach driver would suddenly get this wrong, even after a long day's drive. If this is a ruse to make you spend your time and money in a local shop, Silas will be sadly disappointed pointed in your purchasing power. On your investigator sheet, check mark the small box to the left of the words Drive Auto. Yeah, I did. If you successfully complete this adventure, you will have an opportunity to learn from your experience with Silas. Go to 194. This bodes ill. This part of Massachusetts, or wherever the hell we are, is witch-haunted and filled with doom. Silas opens the engine compartment up and sticks his head inside. The hot metal pops and sizzles. He pokes at various components, then withdraws and wipes his brow, smearing it with dark grease. I ain't sure what's wrong. Might be the oil pressure. Might be something knocked off kilter when we took that spill. Can't do much until the engine cools, neither. And with the light failing, I reckon you'll be here through the night. He wipes his hands on a rag. The shadows from your surroundings are already long, and the air is chilly. You feel stiff from the journey, and a night in the rickety coach sounds unappealing. Silas sees your dismay. This here's Emberhead. Miles from any place. I only come through twice a week. But the folks here are good people. May Ledbetter keeps a spare room. She'll look after you. Up that alley. Turn right. First house on the left. He scratches his cheek, looks again into the engine compartment, and spits on the ground. Meet me back here at 8 in the morning. We'll see how we stand. Oh, I think Silas brought me here to die. Only one on the bus. To look for May Ledbetter's house, go to 267. To ask Silas where he will spend the night, go to 251. To challenge Silas about the breakdown, go to 257. Let's ask Silas where he's going to spend the night. I'm just concerned, Silas. Did I put something in fast talk? Hell yes, I did. All right. 251. You ask about Silas's plans. He gives the engine a sour glance before answering. I've got acquaintance here in the village. Reckon one of 'em owes me a favor. Enough for bed and breakfast in any case. He stares at his grubby hands. Probably won't stretch to a hot bath. You don't seem to have a lot of options. You fetch your cases from the back of the motor coach. The last thing you need is for all your worldly possessions to disappear into some stranger's hovel overnight. Go to 267. Was that where they were sending me to go to May's house? You drag your cases between the sullen buildings. You feel surprisingly weary, considering you've spent all day sitting down. Silas's directions lead you to a modest dwelling with a slate roof. The nameplate reads Ledbetter, and underneath it, a sign in neat copperhead plate reads lodging room. The lane around you is gloomy, but a lamp flickers in the window. A breeze chills your face. You're not about to begin your new life by sleeping in the street. You rap on the weather-beaten door. Go to 4. May Ledbetter, huh? I'm wary of all of this. What is this a picture of, I wonder? Huh. That's interesting. Just a town. Looks like a ratty little town. Might be here. After a moment, you hear footsteps inside the house. A bolt is drawn back, and the wooden door swings open. A figure with loose curls and a rough-looking house dress peers at you. Her gaze takes in your traveling suit and your cases. Her voice has a slight Irish lilt. Hello. Should I take it as you're looking for a room for the night? You inquire as to her rates, suppressing a grimace. As far as you've seen, the village does not offer you many alternatives. Oh, you'll find them very reasonable, she says. You look tired. I'm May. Come inside and we'll talk over a cup of tea. The Ledbetter house feels cramped with a low ceiling and simple fittings, but it is well kept and a cheerful fire crackles in the grate. The aroma of the tea is soothing, and the cup warms your fingers. Have you come to Amberhead for the festival? Asks May. Uh-oh. To explain what happened with Silas and the coach, go to 14. To ask about the festival, go to 21. I would explain about this the coach. May shakes her head and you glimpse a moment of deep-seated anger in her green eyes. He always drives too fast. Thinks the road is made for him and him alone. He hit a mare some years back. That was a terrible thing. You should have seen the state of the coach. You'd be surprised at the damage done. She sips her tea and gazes past you into the corner of the room. With living here, though, we can't afford to antagonize the man. He's about the only link we have to the world at large, and he's not a bad soul at heart. I suppose that going the same route for 15 years makes a man careless. You have to forgive him. May goes silent for a long moment. Then her eyes flick back to you. But you didn't come here to listen to me blather, and you must be hungry. I can rush you up a bit of stew. How would that be? You ask again about her rates, and May names a price so low you accept it without hesitation. Only 10 cents for everything. Uh-oh. When something's too good to be true, it usually is. May gonna murder me in the night. The room is small but comfortable, and the stew dark and hearty. After dinner, you have a couple of hours for your usual bedtime. To talk to May some more, go to 31. To walk around outside and get your bearings, go to 75. To turn in for an early night, I would like to talk to May some more. So we're going to head for 31. I'd like to ask about this festival. I'm nervous about that too, though. There's some dark-ass pictures in here. The beacon. Wait, what was this one in the front? There's no label on it. These other pictures have labels. Where are we time-wise? 3:45. May talks about life in Emberhead. In her letters, my sister always asks if I'm not bored living in such a small place. She lives in New York. Then she writes about how frightened she is to walk home at night. I ask you. You mention your hopes for a new life in Arkham. May doesn't seem to hear you. It's a small place here, yes, but that means we must have a real community. Everybody's face is known. Everybody works together. Nobody's excluded. Except those who choose to exclude themselves, of course. I wouldn't live anywhere else now. Make a charm roll. No, I didn't put any points into charm. My charm is a 15%. If you succeed, go to 39. If you fail, go to 51. I got a 20, which is not a success at 15%. Well, that's a shame. So we got to go to 51. Maid murders you. You're not charming enough. As the hour wears on, you are amused to hear May transform into a sort of tired tourist guide. Of course, the views from here are spectacular on a good day. A clear view all the way around. If you're a painter, you'll be right at home. If your tastes run more to the artisan, there are workshops on Silbury Street. Just at the end here and turn right. They're not set up for visitors, you understand. But you'll see a real craftsman at work, the genuine article. Now, if you're looking for freshly baked bread, it seems a shame to point out that you intend to be on the road again shortly. You let May continue until she begins to yawn. Would you listen to me yapping? Time to turn in. When would you like your breakfast? Go to 63. As May stands, you hear a clunk behind you. Uh-oh. You look over your shoulder, but all you can see is a wooden door, securely closed. May tuts. The young lady of the house. She'll have been listening to us. Ruth! Come and greet our guest. There's a short pause, then the door creaks open. Two wide eyes peer at you from a gap between tousled hair and a rough nightgown. What do you say? The eyes blink. Pleased to meet you. Now get back to bed. The door closes again. My daughter Ruth. 10 years this summer. She's a delight and a torment all in one. Oh no. Oh no. 10. She's 10. Oh no. They're gonna sacrifice this little girl. Don't worry, she sleeps in with me. She'll not disturb you. Good night now. You retire to your room. It is a little chilly, but you're too tired to worry about lighting the fire. The sheets are clean and the bed soon warms up. The silence outside is strange after living in a town for so long, but you soon drop off. Go to 154. Now, one thing about this one, and we'll check the other one. The older ones had little notations at the end of each section that told you where you just came from, which was very handy. I'm writing everything down, but if you didn't want to write everything down, you could be like, oh crap, what was the last one? And you could find it fairly easily. 154. I didn't get to learn about the festival. I guess I should have asked about the festival. No, then she would have assumed that I was going. This might exclude me. I might just be leaving the next day, and that's it. That's the end of the scenario. I don't know. We'll see what happens. You dream of fire in the grate, coruscating colors and shimmering through the dancing tongues of flame. At first they're tiny, almost microscopic, but they grow and grow until a kaleidoscopic inferno spills from the fireplace, spreading across the floor, up the sheets. You wake with a start. Daylight glints through the curtains. You get up and examine the grate, blinking the sleep from your eyes. It's quite cold. If you have taken any damage, you heal 1 hit point back for your night's sleep. Oh yeah, that's right. When you take minor damage, you get a point back every night. Forgot about that. That's actually very nice. Go to 166. Makes me wish I'd asked about the festival instead of just coming clean with. May seems to have no running water, but she has supplied some in a ceramic jug. You freshen up at the washstand and go in. She cooks a hearty breakfast and leaves you a place to eat. Leaves you in peace to eat. At about 7:30, you're paid up, packed, and ready to go. You bid May goodbye, and she wishes you the best for your new career in Arkham. If you succeeded a skill roll last night and wish to investigate the results further, go to 178. Otherwise, go to 192. 192. I mean, I didn't make that skill roll to charm her or anything like that. The only skill roll I made was the drive auto to realize that I don't think that counts though. You're already tired of your heavy bags. Hopefully Silas has repaired the motor coach and you can resume your long journey. A sourpuss he might be, but the old driver seemed to understand his vehicle well enough. You pause to check your watch about 20 minutes early, and round the final corner, the motor coach is gone. You put your bags down and search the area, trekking up and down the slopes and around the corners. At the edge of the village, you trace the long road back as it winds across the hills. 8 o'clock comes and goes. There's no coach to be seen. A passage villager notices your bags. Looking for the bus? I heard him take off at first light. He's due back in 3 or 4 days. If you need a place to stay, May Ledbetter rents a room. The man raises his hat to you and strolls on into the village. You curse Silas under your breath. Perhaps he went for parts, but you wonder if the old goat has stranded you here on purpose. Go to 218. Interesting. I really want to get some information. I haven't gotten any information about this town yet. May's doing laundry and looks surprised to see you again. Forgot something. When you explain the situation, she offers to store your bags while you try to arrange alternate transport. You are grateful to relinquish the load. Nobody here has anything like a car. She strokes her chin and narrows her eyes. Maybe you could find somebody with a horse and cart for your bags. I could ask around later. Try Mr. Winters at the village hall. He'll know if anyone will. Or ask among the artisans. Their workshops are first left on Silbury Street. She reaches over and squeezes your wrist. Don't worry. I won't see you sleeping in the street, money or no money. You thank May and turn to face the village. Go to 6. This is interesting. Here is a picture of May Ledbetter that I just found. Let's wrong. Will you focus? There she is. There's May Ledbetter in her nightcoat or her whatever. So we're all the way back to 6. Stranded in Emberhead. What the hell? Alright, I've already got a little bit of a headache, so we're going to switch to soda. Wonder where she got that bone. She must have found it in the... She must have found it in the yard. You wander the streets of Emberhead without any particular destination in mind. The village is built on a relatively flat upland and with splendid views. To the north, the hazy tips of the White Mountains reach for the heavens. To the south, the sparkling waters of Lake Winnipesaukee touch the horizon. The village itself takes less than 5 minutes to cross from edge to edge. You arrived on the winding road to the west. The only other road leads to the south, following a lower ridge of land as it turns east. In the southwest of the village is an open grassy space borders a ruined church, its graveyard cresting the cliffs. To the northeast, 3 main thoroughfares meet at a raised black metal structure. It looms stark against the blue sky. Okay, so I have a lot of choices here. I can go to the general store and ask about transport, seek out the village hall, walk down to the lower level and check out the eastern road, examine the large metal structure, explore the church, or look for local people with their own transport needs. Let's seek out the village hall. That's what May said to do. Oh, there's a map of Emberhead. Okay. School, the Beacon, the West Road, Ledbetter Rooming House. Here you go. There we go. There's Emberhead. It's not where I was heading. I was heading for 84. But I might print that out. just so I have a better idea of what the place looks like. The village hall. Where is the village hall? There's the general store. There's the village hall. It's in the back. I thought it'd be on the main road. Back's against a cliff at the east end of Silbury Street. It's the largest building you've seen so far in Emberhead. It is, however, locked and shuttered. You walk around it, peering through the gaps in the shutters. There seems to be one large room, presumably for community meetings, and a smaller annex that serves as an office and archive. One of the windows is bricked up. That's weird. Back at the main door, you can see no posted opening hours. Mr. Winters doesn't open up mornings this time of year, says a gray-garbed woman passing by. Best come back this afternoon. You ask whether the office has a telegraph. Don't know, she shrugs. Who would we call? You'll have to try again later. Go to 25. Who would we call? These people. You're beginning to get your bearings in Emberhead. Would you like to explore some more? You may choose another option from those below. Do not repeat a previous choice. Once you've tried 4 options, or before that, if you're ready to move on, go to 3. 4 options. Okay, so this is where we're going to have to keep coming back to 25, it looks like. Hold on. Let's pull this up, and I'm going to print out the map of the town, just because I like maps, and I want to kind of be able to kind of keep an idea. 7th edition starter set, and that's book 1, Alone Against the Flame. Let's go down to page... What page is that on? Page 33. Hold on. Turn off enable scrolling and zoom to page level. They've changed up. There we go. 33. Let's print this page out. Wait, can I get rid of the background? We'll get rid of the background. Chapter list. Body copy we have to keep. Alright. Yeah, let's print this. That way we at least have a map of the village. It might give me some more ideas. That is not page 33. Current. Boop. Boom. There we go. So we'll have a map of Emberhead. And that'll kind of keep me in my head where we're going. Alright, so 25 is what we got to pick. I mean, choose another. Do not repeat previous choices, and once you've tried 4 options before that, if you're ready to move on, go to 3. Ask about transport at the local general store, 16. Ow. Oh, man. There goes my back. Sorry. Walk down to the lower level and check out the eastern road. Examine the large metal structure. Explore the church. Look for local people with their own transport needs. So we're going to start by going to the general store. Here we go. Here's Emberhead. So the general store is on the opposite side of town. Let's go to the beacon first. Because realistically, we could go to the beacon. And then the large metal structure. Where's the church? The church is way over here. And then the general store and then swing by the church. That seems to make the most sense. So, I mean, we're right next to this large metal structure. Large metal structure is 57. And then we wanted to hit 16. And then we wanted to hit the church, which was at 34. We'll see if they send me back. And then I guess 96. Do not repeat. Once you've tried 4 options. Yeah, okay. And we're supposed to go back to 3. So this, we're going to see how they handle this. So the large metal structure is 57. You walk up the approach. Yeah. No, I don't. I'm right here at the village hall. I just step out of the frickin' street. The most central of the village's major streets. It points directly at the odd metal structure. As you emerge from the shade of the nearby buildings, you're greeted by a magnificent panorama spread from north to the southeast. The last colors of fall tint the hills in a sleepy gold. The structure, by contrast, is made from uncompromising iron, singed black. It supports an immense carved platform at the level of your head. Further struts snake up to a central point. It looks like they may have been some kind of sculpture at one time, but are now twisted and melted beyond recognition. Melted. An older gentleman passes, looking up at you with rheumy eyes. "Are you here for the festival?" he asks. "That's the beacon. When they light it, night after next, you'll be able to see it 10 miles away." He gives a little nod of satisfaction, and then moves on, leaning on his walking stick. Now you notice bundles of wood tied and stacked against the buildings nearby. Perhaps this festival would be an interesting diversion, but you really must head for Arkham as soon as possible. Make a spot hidden roll. All right. My spot hidden is 50%. Let's see how we do. 36. That's a success. Let's check it off. Spot hidden. Check. All right. 57. Make a spot hidden. If you succeed, go to 69. 69. As you walk away from the iron structure, you notice something strange about the construction of the village. All the wooden dwellings are concentrated in the west and southwest. The west and southwest. That's where the church is. To the east and northeast, closest to the beacon, the buildings are formed from dark brick and clay. Does this mean the settlement began at the beacon and spread west? You may now check mark the small box beside spot hidden. Now go to 25. 25 is where we want to go. So they sent me back to 25 to decide what to do next. We are going to go to the general store because it's on the way to inquire about transport. We're still looking for transport. The general store is on the corner beside the main road, just before it plunges to the south. The shopkeeper is a brisk, immense lady with a starched apron and strong shoulders. She looks hard at your unfamiliar face. "Transport? There's a motor coach comes through here twice a week. Missed it? Truck brings in my supplies every second Tuesday, but he's not due until next week." She shrugs. It seems Emberhead is content to keep its distance from the outside world. You have enough money to buy one or two inexpensive everyday items here. Note them down on your investigator sheet. Remember, the year is 1927. 1927. The shop stocks no weapons except a dusty hunting knife, which you may purchase if you want. Then go to 25. One or two items. We'll buy a knife. Not that I'll be any good at it. Buy the rusty hunting knife. And let's buy a compass. Let's buy a little compass. I don't know. That seems like it could come in handy. Then go to 25. So that's 2 of our 4 things that we can do. I was going to go look at the church. And then what was I going to do? Because the church is... Is that 34? Let's go explore the church at 34. And then we'll go look for other transport out of this place. We're not going to find it, I don't think. You cross the street towards the church. As you glance to your left, your gaze alights on a large metal structure. Something bothers you about its positioning. You back up and look again. Yes, Emberhead's central thoroughfare points directly at the structure. This seems too precise to be... Oh. Thoroughfare points directly... All the roads point towards the structure. Silbury Street, Avebury Avenue. This is too precise to be a coincidence. You press on and draw into the shadow of the church. The building is in sorry state. Top of the steeple is missing, a ragged gash of splintered boards marking its absence, and the floors beneath it have collapsed. It appears to have torn through the roof of the main building as it fell. Oh, geez. Only the back half is still intact. The white paint, which once covered the church, has yellowed and peeled. So the front of the church has collapsed. It seems safe enough to explore the rear section. Old pews are stacked against the wall, choked with mildew. Most of the windows are broken. You guess this church has been disused for about 20 years. There's little more to interest you. Make a ride roll. You may have a bonus die. Roll the tens twice and take the lower result. If you succeed, go to 46. A ride roll? Okay, I have a whopping 5% chance, plus a bonus die. We'll grab one of these other dice. Not that one. Let's grab this one. No, not that one. Do I have 2 bonus dice? I do have. Okay, so whatever the better roll is, we get to keep. Either a 41 or a 41. They both rolled exactly the same. Alright, so I failed. If you succeed, go to 46. Otherwise, go back to 25. So, a ride roll? Weird. And then we were going to go to 96. We were going to look for local people with their own transport needs. Walk down the trail to the eastern. Yeah. 96. Not far from the. Okay, so I've circled around the whole town by this point, according to this map. I went to the village hall. I went to the beacon. I went to general store. I went to the church, and now I'm circling around towards Ledbetter House, apparently. Not far from the Ledbetter House, on the north side of Silbury Street, there's an open courtyard. The rhythmic tattoo of a hammer seems to announce your approach. Oh, yeah. The courtyard is the busiest location you've seen in Emberhead. It's bordered by a ring of workshops. Some are brick buildings, some only rough huts. A blacksmith ceases to hammer, thrusting something red and glowing into a bucket of cold water. A weaver looks up from his loom, blinking at you for a moment before returning to his shuttle. Shuttle. A potter, engraver, and carpenter each work in their own space, exchanging friendly banter. You move among the artisans, chatting about their work. Eventually, you bring up the question of export. Some of them send occasional packages with Silas. Some restrict their custom entirely to villagers. You receive no suggestion about an alternative transport. Make a psychology roll. Shoot, I should have put those points into psychology. Would have been much more useful. I have a whopping 10%. 67 is a fail. Go to 25. They're lying, I bet. Alright, so 25, and we've explored. Once you've tried 4 options, go to 3. Okay. Cheap, generic orange soda. Your morning exertions have left you hungry. You roam the streets of Emberhead looking for sustenance. There's nothing resembling the busy cafes of your hometown, or anything that might be called a restaurant. It is beginning to look like you will have to get supplies from the general store when May Ledbetter comes down the street with the girl trailing in her wake. This must be Ruth. As she notices you, she races past her mother and approaches you with a smile. This is a different Ruth from the shy creature of last night. As she reaches you, she stops and stretches her arms up in celebration. She looks up into your eyes. Abruptly, the smile drops from her face, and she looks several years older. "Get out before the festival," she hisses. "Get out!" She blinks hard, then scuttles back towards her mother. That's disturbing. May approaches, wrapping an arm around her daughter's shoulders. She smiles. "How are you getting on? Have you found transport?" Startled, you explain the frustration of the situation. "I'd try Mr. Winters in the village hall. He's always in the afternoon. You'll be hungry by now? Help yourself to any food in the house. The door's not locked." You glance at Ruth, where she has squirmed herself behind her mother's leg. Her eyes implore you to silence. If you ask Ruth about what she said, go to 9. Oh, no, do not. If you ask May about what Ruth says, go to 15. No. If you say nothing, go to 22. I'm going to say nothing. I'm not going to say... If I can get a chance to talk to Ruth alone, maybe I'll ask her about it, but... Okay, there's danger here. You take your leave of the Ledbetters and head towards their house. The door opens easily. In the low kitchen, you make a meal from the stodgy bread and leftover stew. A little window offers a view to the mountains. If you learned one thing this morning, it is that Emberhead's streets hold little hope to occupy the visitor from out of town. But there are still about 5 hours of daylight remaining. You should take some provisions and bare essentials from your luggage and set out in the hope of reaching another settlement before dark. Or do you ask advice from this Mr. Winters? This is a tough one. If you prepare to walk out of town, go to 28. If you head to the village hall instead, go to 11. I think we're going to head to the village hall. Give this village one last chance not to be as terrifying as it seems to be. The village hall overlooks the lower north ridge of the village. You walk along Silbury Street and find it, conscious of the oppressive black metal structure framed at the end of the road. The shutters of the hall are open, and some windows left ajar. There's no knocker, but a little bell over the entrance tinkles as you push on the front door. Inside, a sturdy door to your right is marked private. To your left, an opening leads to a bright room. You take a few steps inside. Benches line the wall, and there are 2 notice boards mounted between the windows. To examine the notice boards, go to 17. To knock on the closed door, go to 24. We'll check the notice boards out first. The floorboards creak beneath you as you cross the room. You feel a slight spring in your step. Perhaps this room is used as a gymnasium for the village children. That's weird. Bouncing floor. One notice board appears to be for adults of the community and one for the children. The former looks neglected, featuring handwritten advertisements for household items and a yellowed note about telegraph pricing. There's nothing about the festival. Telegraph pricing. The children's notice board has a schedule for weekly creche services and a number of paintings obviously done by children themselves. Most are incoherent, though colorful. As best you can tell, they depict fireworks, or perhaps the tale of Joseph from the book of Genesis. One has lost a pin and hangs upside down. It shows a giant bird attacking Emberhead. Or it might simply be that the artist has not yet mastered the subtleties of scale. Make a spot hidden roll. If you succeed, go to 30. If you fail, go to 37. Spot hidden is 50. 24 is a success. If you succeed, go to 30. This is a weird little story. I like it, though. As the afternoon sun hits the floor, you notice something curious. The boards under the windows are newer than the boards in the center of the floor. The frames also show signs of having been replaced in the recent past. Perhaps rain leaked in and rotted the wood? You may check the mark. The small box behind spot hidden skill. Go to 37. Yeah, it's already checked. I've already made a successful spot hidden. But thank you for the reminder. The door scrapes behind you. A middle-aged, bespectacled gentleman appears in the doorway. May I help you? You explain you are visiting on May Ledbetter's recommendations. Well, I'm Carl. Middle-aged. Well, I'm Clyde Winters. I'm not sure I can help you, but would you care for some coffee? I'm partial to a cup in the afternoon. He gestures to the open door behind him. This seems like a worthwhile opportunity, and you are a little thirsty. Go to 43. It's gonna drug me. Whoa, that's 45. It says you awake with a jolt. I was like, wait, what just happened? 43. You stepped through the door marked private. Yeah, nothing's taking me to 45. So the other side of the village hall is in marked contrast to the public space. The room is compact, lined with shelves and books and file alcoves. One corner is reserved for a tiny pantry and was presumably a water closet. You study Mr. Winters as he fills the percolator. Although thin on top, his hair is oiled and neatly swept back. His suit is a sober affair and well tailored, even if the cut is a little old-fashioned. A lesser man working alone might have loosened his bow tie for comfort. A lesser man working alone might have loosened his bow tie for comfort. On the desk against the opposite wall, you notice what looks like a telegraph set. Shoot. Let's make small talk with Winters first. I do want to ask about the telegraph. The pot begins to gurgle as you exchange pleasantries with Winters. Yeah, we're going to end up there anyway. Living here? It's a trade-off, like so much in life. He looks past you at a high shelf. I could wish for access to proper library, of course, but I know myself well enough. I'm strictly a dabbler. And the cities? His face wrinkles in distaste. Too many people. Everybody rushing and shouting. We have a special place here in Emberhead, and someone must accept responsibility for keeping it so. That was my father before me, and now the duty falls to me. He lifts his chin and straightens up. This evening, as the sun sets, look out at the landscape around the village. We have peace up here, halfway to the stars. Are we not privileged? Is this not worth the hardships we must accept? He looks at you speculatively. This seems a good time to ask about the telegraph. It's not. He's going to be like, ain't no telegraph, that's just a flubadabble. The telegraph? Much as we value our isolation, we do need to link sometimes. You were hoping to send a message? I must apologize. The line has been down for 2 weeks. I reported the fault, but of course, they're not so speedy when the problem lies in a rural area. I'm expecting a repair the day after next. I do appreciate how frustrating this must be. The coach is due in, 3 days? But I think he's going west. Perhaps you might engage a wagon? One of the farmers might. You explain that you have asked a few of the residents already, but to no avail. I tell you what, Winters pours you a steaming cup of coffee. The dark liquid smells rich and strong. When the repair crew arrive, I'll ask them to take you back with them. How would that be? They might want $1 or two to grease the wheels. When the repair crew arrives, the day after tomorrow? It's less than ideal. The day after tomorrow. Tomorrow night's festival. We are doomed. I should have just ran away. The day after tomorrow? That's less than ideal. But it's the first real opportunity you've had. To thank Winters and leave, go to 180. Oh, to ask about his library, go to 62. Let's be nosy. You make a small but flattering remark about a couple of volumes on his shelves. Winter blushes with pleasure. Well, of course, they're not my personal collection. They belong to the village, he says. But I did select most of the recent items. This is the community's library, you see. I put up the private sign to stop people just wandering in from meetings in the other room. But this is really a public space. You scan the shelves. There is a sparse but respectable collection on mathematics and the sciences, passable sections on history and the arts, and a shelf of literature. He has a few lowbrow novels tucked away in the corner with tatty copies of Bizarre Tales magazine. Quality does not always equate to popularity, I'm afraid. Winters gives you an apologetic smile. To take the time for some research in the library, go to 68. To leave while still light out, go to 180. Let's go to 68. I would like to look through his library. It's like just after noon. I mean, we shouldn't have to waste the whole day. Winters is very happy for you to spend the rest of the afternoon in study and offers you an upright but comfortable chair. You have enough time to pursue one line of research in depth. So one library use check, basically, 4 hours. To read about the history of the area, go to 74. To read about the festival, go to 81. To read something from the sciences, 88. To read some weird fiction, 94. Ooh. Let's read about the festival. Yeah, they're going to try to murder me. There's got to be a sacrifice, he said. You're not surprised to find there is no published work on Emberhead's festival. Winters pokes around and finds a cased monograph, handwritten on yellow paper by a Dr. Anialski. An acquaintance of my father's, I believe, Winters says. Scott David Anialski, and I'm probably mispronouncing his name, he wrote a lot of stuff for Call of Cthulhu. He also just did what we just finished, which was Alone on Halloween. That was his. He wrote Trick or Treat. I mean, these are the ones I've played that I recall from Blood Brothers. Yeah, that's funny. The manuscript is somewhat difficult to read, and you make slow progress. Anialski speculates that the festival has its origin in pagan rites brought over by Celtic settlers, which celebrate the ancient festivals of Beltane, Samhain, Imbolc, and Lugnasad. There's some discussion of the struggle between the seasons and a couple of oblique references to the alignment in Emberhead. Anialski suggests that the meaning of the festival is slowly changed around the turn of the century. Okay, 1900. The monograph terminates mid-sentence at the end of page 28, just as it begins to discuss the modern practices. You ask Winters if he has the remaining pages. No, I'm afraid those have been misplaced, he says. Perhaps they are still in the library somewhere, but he shrugs. I must take the time for a thorough stock take. I must make the time for a thorough stock take. Go to 99. Alright, we did some research. That's awesome. The afternoon wears on. You've not quite finished your reading when Winters glances out the window and stands up. He clears his throat. Make a credit rating roll. 20%. If you succeed, go to 111. If you fail, go to 105. Alright, credit rating is only 20%. So there's nothing in here about pushing rolls, or I don't know if there's anything in the starter set about pushing rolls. We might look real quick at book 2. Oh, 1! Holy crap, I made it! Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That is awesome. Oh, 1. That was a good place to roll that. If you succeed, go to 111. I'm happy to leave you in charge for half an hour or so, he says. He smiles. Please don't issue any books without a valid library card. Winters seems okay, but I bet he's in on it. You thank Winters for his trust and continue with your reading for a time. As the light dims, you find yourself yawning at the closeness of the room. Perhaps it's time for a change of material. Make a spot hidden roll. If you succeed, go to 118. If you fail, go to 124. I probably need this one. 50%. 23, another success. Holy crap. If you succeed, go to 118. 118. As you scan the shelves, you try to move aside one of the 3 volumes of Walpole's A Comprehensive Grammar of the Andean Peoples. It will not shift. And upon further inspection, you find the 3 volumes are actually glued together and attached to the wall. Is this some kind of unobtrusive way to reinforce the shelves? You hear footsteps in the hall, and on instinct, move away from the curious discovery. You may checkmark the small box beside spot hidden. Now go to 124. Already checked. Now we're going to take this book 2 a quick break. Skill descriptions, game system, sanity, combat, hit points. Game system is on 14. Let's see if they do anything about pushing rolls in the introductory, like bonus and penalty dice, luck rolls. For example, we want to know group luck rolls, and then it goes into sanity. So there's nothing about pushing or burning luck in this one, which doesn't really mean anything, as it's an introductory scenario based on. Oh, that's a pretty. Oh my gosh. The cover, they use the same characters in the covers of all these. So we've got these 3 investigators, an African American man. Well, if it takes place in the United States, a woman, a white woman, and a white man. But I just looked at the cover for the introductory rules. They are, come on, focus. Oh. They're running away from something awful, and they're just all screaming as they run. The guy on the right reminds me of Seth Skarkowski's Jack, the NPC. Anyway, 124. The door opens and Winters re-enters the library. He wears a small, satisfied smile. His gaze shifts to where you stand at the shelves. Exhausted our stock already? Of course we accept donations, he chuckles. I'm afraid it's closing time. You leave the building with Winters and wait as he locks up. You thank him for the coffee and the access to the library. He strolls away down Silbury Street. Go to 180. We are on our second line of locations. I want to get back in that room and open that secret door, because I know that's what that is. It's got to be some kind of a latch. As the light fades, you return to the Ledbetter house and eat a light supper. May is unusually taciturn. Ruth's eyes flicker to yours several times during the meal. There's an urgency there you cannot quite interpret. Afterwards, May ushers the girl into their room. You've been in Emberhead for barely one whole day, and you already feel confined by it, both geographically and socially. The evening seems to offer little. To do some stargazing, go to 131. To attempt to speak to Ruth, go to 138. If you have a previous appointment, this is the time to follow it up. I don't have a previous appointment. Ruth is in the same room with May. I don't think I'm going to be successful in talking to her. We're going to try, though. I don't have any astronomy or anything like that, so we're going to go to 138 and see if this causes a problem. In time, May returns to the kitchen and busies herself clearing up. To speak to Ruth, you will need to get May to leave for a short while. You help with the dishes and try to think of some ruse. In time, an idea comes to you, and you ask about Silas and his friends in the village. May narrows her eyes. He knows Troy on the other side of town, she says. Not sure I'd call them friends, more like an old feuding couple. But he probably spent last night at Troy's place. You ask May if she could visit Troy and ask if Silas mentioned any plans to return. May looks dubious. Right now, she says. Without looking at your investigator sheet, decide how best to influence May. Without looking at. By appealing to her emotions, by explaining how further delay threatens your career, or by trying to rush her into compliance. Then make a charm, persuade, or fast talk roll, respectively. If you succeed, go to 145. If you fail, go to 151. I think we'll do a persuade. That's 50, I believe. It is, but so is fast talk, so it doesn't matter which one of those I would do. So persuade. We're just going to try that. This is going to... I could get fired. I could lose the job that I've been trying to get. Come on now. Yes, another success. 19. 19 on persuade. Oh my gosh, Dice, I love you right now. If you succeed, go to 145. Well, I suppose it'll only take a few minutes. May fetches a coat and heads out into the night. You give her time to get clear, then rap on the bedroom door. Nothing comes but silence. Then feet pad across the floor and the door opens a few inches. Ruth's eyes stare through the gap, glancing from left to right. You explain her mother's left the house and ask what has been bothering her. Those eyes flick up to stare at you. It's tomorrow, she whispers. Same as every year. They took my da. They'll take you if you let them. The conviction in her eyes is chilling. You press her. Who is she talking about? All of them. Every one. They've been watching since you got here. You're marked. Her voice is hollow. 1 year when I'm older, they'll take me. You hear footsteps outside, approaching from outside. Ruth's eyes flash and the bedroom door slams shut. You turn back to drying the dishes. May enters and removes her coat. That man is a waste of time, she hisses, and heads through to the bedroom. You may checkmark the small box beside the skill you used. Now go to 157. Heck yes. Oh, I forgot to mark 145. Hold on, 145. I was so excited that I succeeded. 157. The familiar surroundings of your guest room are becoming constrictive. The neat bed, small wardrobe, and dressing mirror have a feel of a prison cell about them. What are you still doing here in Emberhead? Your new life awaits elsewhere. Your new life is elsewhere. You lie on the bed and stare at a small crack in the ceiling. You turn over the day's events, thinking through the little details you spotted. You are certainly weary from the elevation and fresh air, but do you still feel safe here? If you let yourself fall to sleep, go to 224. If you stay awake, go to 230. I'm going to stay awake. I want to get out of this town. I want to go to the freaking back to the library. This would make a real good adventure for one GM and one player. Sleep presses down on you. You blink it back and sit up, trying to think through the situation. Everything in Emberhead seems to be working to stop you leaving. Perhaps the answer is to strike out at first light, to walk as far and as fast as you can. You can always return for your possessions, and if you lose them, you have nothing so precious that could not be replaced. A tiny creak draws your attention to the other side of the room. Slowly, almost silently, the doorknob is turning. I have two choices here. I can grab it and wrench it open, or I can pretend to be asleep. Let's pretend to be asleep. I'd rather go out the window, to be quite honest. 254. You slide onto the bed and lie on your side, eyes closed. The hinges creak as the door opens. There's a long pause. A footfall sounds inside the room, then another. The steps are careful and feminine. You give it a moment, and then open one eye a crack. May crouches with her back to you. She's fiddling with something in the fireplace. To confront May, 260. Just wait and see what happens. Go to 266. We're going to wait and see what happens, because she's just going to lie to me, and I don't have any psychology. So it doesn't do me any good to actually confront her. After a few moments, May glances round at you. Then you hear a soft scratch of a match being lit. She applies it to something in the grate and tiptoes from the room. Once you hear her bedroom door, you creep to the grate. A small mound of black powder, no bigger than a thimble, is burning there. It gives off heady fumes. You may make a hard science botany. I don't have any science botany. I didn't pick a doctor. I got 1%. If you succeed, go to 76. Otherwise, you may extinguish the powder and sleep. Go to 58. Or stay awake through the night. Otherwise, you may extinguish the power and sleep. Go to 58. Or stay awake through the night. Go to 52. Or you may relax and breathe in the fumes out of curiosity. No. We will extinguish the powder and stay awake. Hopefully this isn't going to hurt me. I want to leave. I want to climb out the window and creep out of this town. You stare out the window and watch as the sun reaches the horizon, bathing the village in sickly orange. It's been a long night, and you feel stiff and irritable. You rub your eyes. A few minutes later, you hear May bustling in the kitchen. Then the door opens and closes. Then the front door opens and closes. Make a con roll. If you fail, your skill rolls today suffer a penalty. Damn it. Roll the tens percentage die twice. Right, penalty roll. This does not apply to luck, sanity, or damage roll. Con is only 50. Oh, I need to make this one. I'm not going to make any rolls today. 68. Ah. Alright, so I have to add a penalty die to everything today. I guess I should have gone to sleep, but I really wanted to make that roll. Now go to 64. Okay, May's left. Let's go talk to the kid again. The Ledbetter kitchen is empty, although bread and eggs have been laid out for your breakfast. There's a note from May explaining she has taken Ruth out for a few hours. If you were involved in a fight in the village last night and want to investigate the aftermath, go to 70. Otherwise, go to 78. No, I was not involved in any fight. Where are we time-wise? 4:30. 78. Alright. I've survived quite a while, so You make a quiet circuit of the village, pausing in unobtrusive places to watch the villagers. It's rather busy for this time in the morning. Yawning locals stream back and forward along the roads, carrying bundles of split logs to the site of what you've heard referred to as the beacon. You see two figures already up on its superstructure, arranging the wood. The festival bonfire will be most impressive. But do you intend to stay to see it? You suspect by now that something is amiss here. While the villagers are distracted, you may do some illicit investigation, or you may simply leave town without looking back. Oh, I could search May Ledbetter's bedroom, go alone to the village hall, take a closer look at the artisan's courtyard, spy on activity at the beacon, or slip down to the east and flee for good. I want to go to the village hall. We found that thing. I wonder if it opens a secret door, maybe a secret cupboard with secret information. Alright, we're going alone to the village hall. It's probably stupid. My curiosity. That's one of my traits if this character survives. 126. Keeping away from the streets, you skirt the northern cliffs and approach the village hall from the rear. It is close to the beacon, and you will not be able to use the door unobserved. You check the windows. The one to the east side, facing the beacon, is bricked up. Interesting. A shutter is loose on the westernmost window, and you're able to ease it open and slide inside, closing the shutter behind you. You drop into the village meeting room and pad through, passing through dim shafts of light and listening to the excited chatter of the locals from outside. The door opposite reads private. Hearing nothing from the other side, you turn the handle. Go to 133. So far, these people think I suspect nothing, which is to my advantage, and I've got to keep that up. The room is lined with books. In the corner is a small water closet and pantry. A quick survey of the rest of the room reveals little, so you turn to the bookcase. The dim light makes it difficult to read the spines. Is there anything useful here? Make a spot hidden roll. If you've examined the bookshelf before, you may have a bonus die. If you succeed, okay. Well, that just will offset my penalty die. So, spot hidden. 99 is a fail. I already found those books, though. Hold on, what's 147? Alright, 140. Tucked between two books, you find a detailed map of the area around Emberhead. See page 33. Yeah, I already printed one of those out. Oh my goodness. It shows woodland contours, and the two roads east and west. Though no other settlements are marked, this may prove useful if you decide to leave today. The clatter of activity around the beacon seems to be building, and you flinch at every conversation that gets too close to the building's door. It feels the right time to retrace your steps, slipping away through the window. Go to 120. Damn it. I knew about those books, though. This is so frustrating. I'm looking at 147, because I made this spot hidden before. The bookcase covers blah blah. Alright, I can't get that even though I found it already. That's really frustrating. You feel a deepening unease about Emberhead in this day in particular. Once you've attempted 3 of the options below, go to 98. Search May Ledbetter's bedroom. Go alone to the village hall. One shift temp 3 is... You know what? I might go back. Take a closer look at the Artisan's Courtyard. Was I at 120 before? I was not. So I can do 3 things. We're going to go back to the Village Hall and try to make that roll. Because I haven't got 120 written down here. 133. I might not have jotted it down. Hold on. Room is lined with books. 126. Private. 78? Wait. No. That was here. You may do now one of these things. So I'm going to go back and search that room again. I know there's something wrong with that room. I found those books. This is 120, so we'll be coming back here. We're going to go back to 126. We're already there. I'm just searching it again. Go to 133. Hopefully I'm allowed to do that. So I need to make a spot hidden. I gotta make this. 39. Oh, thank goodness. I really did not want to miss that. All right. So what did we do? We went to 126, 133, and this time our search was successful. 147. You're looking along the spines when you notice how close the bookcase is to the window on the north wall. From outside, there's a solid 3 or 4 feet between the edge of the window and the wall. And the bookcase covers the wall with the bricked up window. Further examination reveals an ingenious arrangement of slipcases physically attached to the shelves. When you pull to the left, an entire section of the bookcase swings out. The clatter of activity around the beacon seems to be building, and you flinch at every conversation that gets too close to the building's door. To investigate behind the bookcase, go to 153. Yes, please. We're risking a lot here. You squint into the darkness behind the bookcase. In a small alcove, big enough for one person... It is a small alcove, big enough for one person, and has a hidden shelf on the either side. You cannot make out any of the titles in this light. To risk opening one of the cliffside windows a little, go to 165. To grab a few books and leave, go to 159. Damn it. These choices are making me... I should have just bought a flashlight. We're going to risk opening one of the windows just a little bit. Enough light spills into the room for you to make out titles. The contents of the alcove are quite different from the wider library. The books are much older, some are handwritten, and many are in strange scripts you do not recognize. You could spend a week here just browsing through the bizarre volumes. Make a library use roll. If you succeed, go to 177. If you fail, go to 184. But if you do fail, you may push the roll by attempting it again. There's pushing. Okay, there's pushing right there. If you fail the pushed roll, go to 190. Alright, we have a penalty die on this, unfortunately. And our library use, I believe, is 60%. Damn it, the penalty die killed me. 94. 184. We got to go to 184. Damn it. I hate that. That's frustrating. You are drawn to a small book of strange poetry bound in black, published in Boston in 1919. The cover reads, Azathoth and Others by Edward Derby. Unlike most of the other books, you can pocket the Derby book if you want. The Derby book volume will require about a week of study to fully comprehend. If you survive this adventure, you may read 171 for more information about it. For now, go to 120. 120 takes me back. We're done with this section. And since I don't know that I failed, technically, Azathoth and Others. We'll pocket that, and I'm going to write 171 on the character sheet. Back to 120. So at 120, we've done one thing so far. We've gone to the Village Hall. Let's go to May Ledbetter's room. Let's sneak in and go to her room. And hope I'm more successful there. This being tired sucks. Despite her hospitality, you do not trust May Ledbetter. You return to her house quite openly. Where else would you go? Besides, inside the dwelling is still empty. You rap on the bedroom door and wait. Silence. You ease it open. The Ledbetter bedroom is in marked contrast to your own. Neat space. Dirty clothes are piled about the floor. On a rough quilt lie school books and cheap novels. You notice a raggedy old doll discarded down the side of the bed. Make a spot hidden. If you succeed, go to 95. If you fail, go to 89. We got a 20 or a 40. Those are both successes, so even though I had the penalty die, we succeeded. Thank goodness. You notice scrapes on the floorboards corresponding to the legs of the bed. With effort, you slide the bed away. There is a rug spread beneath it, and beneath the rug a trapdoor. You ease it open. The dark space beneath is some kind of cellar. To descend to the cellar, go to 114. Let's go. The daylight barely offers enough illumination to see. I should have bought an electric torch at the... but a hot lantern during daytime would be very suspicious. You squeeze beneath the floor and glance around. Your first impression is that May keeps her junk here, for there are many boxes of different sizes piled in untidy heaps. It takes a few seconds before you realize they are all traveling trunks or suitcases. There are about 20 of them. The implication hits you hard, yet you maintain enough control to check the luggage tags. You count 8 or 9 different names before you stop. Scrambling back up to the bedroom, you close the trapdoor with trembling fingers, returning the bed to its place. Go to 120. Oh my God. The East Road? The East Road goes... They'll be able to see me go from the beacon. Yeah, we got to get out of here. I'm sorry, I'm curious about this, but we have to go. I can only do 3. Then we have to go to 98. We're going to get out of this town. Hopefully they won't kill Ruth. I'd like to save her. As you approach the southern road that descends to the lower ridge, you see 4 villagers blocking the route with farm tools and clubs. You veer off and head towards the west road. Your heart sinks as you see exactly the same scene at the other exit from the village. You are trapped. To try to talk your way past one of the groups of guards, go to 119. To try to slip past in disguise, go to 124. Or, do you know another way to leave the village? No, I don't. Disguise as what? I don't have any points in disguise. I have fast talk. These are the only choices they're offering me. Crap. I don't know another way to leave the village. Let me see if 125 requires a disguise check. If it does, I'm not going to bother. Yeah. There's no way. I guess we'll try to talk our way past. Oh, just going for a walk. Yeah, I'll definitely use fast talk. But that penalty die makes it tough. The southern group appears less sharp than the western group. You stride up to them, explain that you're needed at the beacon. They look dubious. You offer to watch the road for them. Oh, that they are needed at the beacon. They look dubious. You offer to watch the road for them and hold your hands for a pitchfork. Nah, you come with us, says the first one. His ape-like brow bends into a frown. Make an extreme fast talk roll. Oh, God. That's what? A 10. I got to make it 10% with a penalty die. So that's unlikely to work. This is a roll equal to or less than if you succeed, if you fail, go to 139. No, 17 and 47 are both fails. 139. Can I just run? Oh, this is bad. This is the first indication that I know what's going on. These locals are not as stupid as you think. They grab you and march you back to the center of the village. Go to 108. This is it. I'm dead. I never found out another way to get out of the village. The fading light from a narrow window tells you afternoon is giving way to evening. Your hands are shackled behind your back, so you cannot even lie down on the rough bed. A woman you have not seen before comes in. Her face is wrinkled and her eyes dull. They do not meet yours, but she puts a cup to your lip. I will reject the drink. They're drugging me again. You turn your face away, and when she tries again, you dash the cup from her hands using the side of your head. The clear liquid spills across the floor. The woman gives a half shrug and turns to leave the room. You shout after her, but she gives you no reaction. You soon become thirsty. 205. I wonder what would have happened if I'd accepted the drink. No, nothing. Probably. Maybe she was going to drug me so I would not feel the pain of burning. Oh, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. Damn it. That's disappointing. As the light fades outside, your little prison becomes dark. You can hear much activity around the building. Occasionally, an orange glow passes the window. The only comfortable position in the shackles seems to be to sit against the end of the bed with your arms hanging behind you. You need to concentrate to come up with a plan. There's clearly no escape from your bonds. You do not know exactly what your captors want from you, but you cannot ignore the fact that they have spent the entire day constructing a massive bonfire. Go to 27. I feel like they're dragging out the fact that the game is over at this point. I think I'm dead. Hey! Roger Twee, oh no! Tell me about it. This is bad. This is real bad. We're stuck in this town, and they're going to kill me, I think. 27. The door scrapes, wrenching you back into the moment. Orange light spills into the house from blazing torches held at the threshold. Two large villagers step in and grab you. At least you assume they're villagers. They wear heavy black cloaks, and their faces and hands are painted entirely black, save only for a red triangle centered on their left eye. You try to drag your legs, but they reach under your arms and lift you bodily from the bed. Outside, it seems that the whole village has congregated to see you. Every single one has a blackened face with a red triangle motif. Torches sputter and spill fire. You struggle, but you can see physical resistance is hopeless. You are marched to the central street and turn to face the beacon. I didn't find anything out about the festival, so I can't use that. Darn it. I think I'm dead. I think this is the end. The procession down the approach is slow and formal, save when you sense weakness and yank at your captors. A chill touches you when you see three human shapes carried ahead of you, draped in red cloth. The beacon looms larger and larger, its dreadful silhouette, a black triangle pointed to the stars. A low drone begins among the cloaked figures. Unbidden, the word mourners comes to mind. Smoke from the torches makes you cough, and you feel heat on your face. As you reach the cleared area around the beacon, three dancers break from the pack. Young girls swinging balls of fire in spectacular arches, drawing circles in the night air. One by one, they draw close to you and touch your forehead with sooty fingers. Each kisses you 3 times, on the left cheek, right cheek, and then forehead. Then they whisper in your ear. The smell of kerosene fills your nostrils. Now, make an appearance check. I don't think this gets a penalty die. That's cocked. It's going to get a reroll. Oh, 37 is a success. 31, actually, is a success. If you succeed, go to 10. If you fail, go to 48. 10. Through your sacrifice, the village will be reborn, says the first dancer. You pass from earth to air for all our sakes, says the second. I've weakened the chains, said the third. Don't try to escape until the flames are high enough to hide you. You stare at the third dancer. In that inky visage, you clearly discern the frightened features of Ruth Ledbetter. Their dance weaves off and disappears behind the buildings. Go to 18. Say, what? Okay, we might actually survive this. Hold on. Ruth helped me. She's 10 years old. Oh, they're going to murder her. As you arrive beneath the beacon, 10 villagers close in on you. Working with surprising coordination, they immobilize you and lift you up the blackened iron stairs to the raised platform. You cannot help but shiver at the sight of the... Oh, I'm going to have to make a strength check. You cannot help but shiver at the sight of the central framework twisted from past blazes, and what you can now clearly see to be fastening points for chains. None of the eyes meet yours as they lash you to the metal. These people are such hypocrites. The village sings now, something rhythmic and ancient, carved from odd syllables. A second group ascends to the beacon, carrying the 3 red-draped bodies. With reverence, they arrange their burdens in a triangle around your feet. Then they withdraw, leaving you alone with the dead, shin deep in a sea of kindling. Go to 33. It's going to come down to 1 die roll that I'm probably going to fail. It's probably a strength check. My strength is 50, but I have a penalty die from being exhausted. I don't remember. I think That doesn't include sanity and a couple other things. Hold on, let's look at 52 and see what that includes. If you fail, your skill rolls suffer a penalty. Skill rolls. Roll the 10 percentage die twice and take the higher result. This is not applied to luck, sanity, and damage rolls. Oh, skill rolls. Okay, so I don't get a penalty for my characteristics, which is good. 33. It seems the entire village is gathered round the beacon to watch you burn. Behind the face paint, you recognize May Ledbetter, and yes, that is Silas the coast driver, standing at her side. The audacity and scale of the deception staggers you. A man steps up on the dais and raises his hands with quiet authority. The frame of his spectacles obscures the red triangle on his face. So we draw here together again on this night, as we do each year, and give thanks to the one who will preserve the village against the fire of the void. There's the, here is a picture of the beacon. You will be taken by the ones from above in our stead. Your death will bring life to our streets and bounty to our fields. You will safeguard our children and our elders alike for another year. We salute you. He bows his head. All around the beacon, bearers step forward and lift their torches to the edge of the raised platform. A ring of tiny flames flicker up around the perimeter. As they wink, the singing of the villagers drops into an unearthly rhythm. To throw all your remaining strength against the bonds, go to 44. To wait and see what happens, go to 40. All my remaining strength against the bonds. Now, what did she tell me? Do not try to escape until the flames are high enough to hide you. We have to wait. I've got to try to escape once the flames are high. I can't just do it right now. I just can't. I'm afraid if I do, it won't matter. 451. Oh, we're so close to the end. The flames snake across the kindling, catching and rising. Smoke rises and it becomes difficult to see the villagers. The three bodies surrounding you catch fire, blazing with sooty red flames. You begin to cough as the smoke enters your lungs and fight down the urge to panic. If you've learned a strange chant and wish to try it, this is the moment. Otherwise, go to 65. Now, hold on. Okay. If something comes down and eats me, then I wouldn't have waited this long. Alright, no, I can still make a strength roll to try to escape. Alright, that's fair. Flames lick at your legs. Your eyes water, you're shrouded in smoke. It might be your imagination, but you think you can feel a slight give in the chains. You throw yourself against them, giving no thought to how they bite into your wrists. Take 1d6 points of damage from the fire. Oh, man. No, we're not going to use that die. We're going to use this die. 1. That die always rolls 1, it feels like. I'll take it. I've been rolling hit points with this die, and it's been a mistake. Alright, for my D&D game. For a D&D. If this reduces you to 0, you collapse and burn to death at the end. Otherwise, make a strength check. If you succeed, go to 93. If you fail, go to 77. So here it is. This is the check that makes... This is it. This is the game check. 09. Holy crap. That's not an impale. It is. That's an extreme success. It's under 10. I can't believe I rolled. Alright, if you succeed, go to 93. 93. We might get out of this with our life. Desperation lends you strength, and you yank. Oh, Roger Tweed says, I've played this one. It's really hard. Maybe impossible first playthrough. Maybe. I couldn't get out of town. I couldn't find out too much information. Desperation lends you strength, and you yank at what you guess to be the weak point in the chain. It breaks! You throw the chain off, stumbling across one of the red-shrouded corpses, heading away from the watching villagers. You cough. Your hair and eyebrows smolder. Take 1d6 points of damage from the fire. Okay, this will not reduce... I'm at 9 hit points, so... Oh, God, 5 is a lot, though. Okay. If this reduces you to 0, you collapse and are burned to death. If not, go to 137. Okay. I didn't find anything out, though. I couldn't see. I should have bought an electric torch at the general store. You leap from the conflagration on the far side of the beacon. Your heart lurches momentarily at the sight of the sheer drop beneath you, but you land a few inches short of the edge. You roll to extinguish your burning clothing. Your lungs feel singed. Everything hurts. The chant of the villagers gathers in intensity. You peer around the beacon. You don't seem to have noticed your absence. They don't seem to have noticed your absence amidst the billowing smoke. Most of them staring at the sky. You crawl as rapidly as you can for cover of the nearest building. Go to 156. Oh, I hope Ruth doesn't die. I adore her. She saved my life. With the villagers assembled at the beacon, the streets are empty, and you're able to pad away from the blaze. You must get out of town before they finish. The chanting seems to accelerate as you round the corner of the southern road. Here, parked against the side of the general store, you have your first piece of luck since reaching Emberhead. A bicycle! You learn to ride one of these in Providence. You settle into the saddle. Your burned flesh protests at the contact. To wait and observe things going on at the beacon, go to 168. To ride out of town immediately, go to 185. Oh, man. I want to see what's going to happen at the beacon. Curiosity is something that I was going to give this character, and that's what we're going to put in his traits. We have to watch, and hopefully we can still survive. After a quick glance around to be sure you're unobserved, you look back along the avenue. The entire village is intent upon the beacon. Their chanting reaches a new, fevered pitch. You cannot say exactly why, but you get the impression something is wrong. The chant begins to break, and the villagers sway. Then, phoom! Something incandescent thunders into the crowd in front of the beacon, leaving a fiery trail in your vision. You feel the ground shudder beneath the bicycle. Phoom! Another strikes nearby, scattering sparks. Now the chant falters and gives way to screams. Fire skims the buildings facing the beacon. Smoke rolls through the streets. A woman staggers towards you, wailing. Her arm is on fire. She beats it against a wall. Boom! Another strike out. Another strike. Out of your sight, towards the village hall. It's time to go. Go to 185. Now, wait a minute. 156. Was that my just go to 185? I want to know if I made the right choice. Yeah. Okay, 185. It takes a moment to recapture the skill of riding the bicycle, but after you first turn to the east, there's a long downhill out of Emberhead. You hear screams and crackles above you, but concentrate on balancing and working the pedals in your weakened state. You've had too many hopes dashed in this abomination of a village. You keep your head down and ride away. 20 minutes later, with no signs of pursuit, you stop for a breather at the top of a hill. You can see Emberhead rise in the distance. The entire village appears to be ablaze. The dark column of smoke above it will be visible for many miles, but if the village is as isolated as it seems, help is unlikely to arrive in time. You watch the place burn for 5 minutes. Then you mount the bicycle again and ride towards civilization and dawn. Congratulations, you've survived this adventure. You may keep your investigator sheet and use it in another Call of Cthulhu scenario. If you've checkmarked the small box beside any skills, you'll have a chance to improve them through experience. See Book 2, page 22. The end. We did it! Somehow we survived. Against all odds, we made the rolls. I can't believe I made that strength check to break free. That's amazing to me. Yes! We did it in 2 hours. So this is the outro. We're going to very quickly check our skills and see if any of them go up. I can't believe we actually survived that. That is unbelievable. Check drive to auto. I rolled a 43, so that goes up by 2 whole points. Ooh, 22. Let's mark it off. We didn't use any of the... Persuade is 50. 44. That doesn't go anywhere. And Spot Hidden is a 50. 25. Doggone it. That's okay. So, Jacob Wibble survived and badly burned. He's down to 5 hit points. No, he's down to 4 hit points. Yeah, we'll just leave that like that. Badly burned. That's a major wound, actually. I didn't check to see if he'd pass out because he took 5 and he had 9 at the time, so that's half. So I should have done a con check, but geez, I needed every chance I could get. That was fun. I guess my only complaint is that if I'd have bought an electric torch, then I wouldn't have had to open the window or anything else. I should have just been able to see what was in that little secret cubby. And that wasn't mentioned. But other than that, that was a lot of fun. Um, as you said, Roger Twee, um, or Roger Twy, I'm probably pronouncing it incorrectly. Um, yeah, that would have been tough if I had failed that strength check at the end and hadn't broken the bonds, dead. If I had not made that freaking appearance check, which I put my 40 points in instead of one of the higher numbers, that could have been really bad because I bet she wouldn't have helped me. Um, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. Very creepy. All the suitcases in the cellar, I loved finding that. That was terrifying. My character didn't have a gun or anything, so there's not much he could have done there. And I think that takes for granted that you're not carrying a weapon. Um, but overall, that was a lot of fun, and we got it done in one sitting, one stream, in one stream. So, and I never really had to refer to the rules at all for that one. So that was Alone Against the Flames. That was a lot of fun. Um I guess let me put these things back. Oh wait, no, they were under book one. Book one was on top. This stuff was under it, and this was on top of it. So we're going to put everything back where it belongs in the box set. So that's Alone Against the Flames. They had push rolls included, which included going to a different place if you pushed a roll and failed. Maybe if you'd succeeded. I need to look that up. So we're done with that. Nice. We survived. We didn't find out what we wanted to find out. We didn't really learn anything about what was going on in the town, unfortunately. But we did manage to survive, which in Call of Cthulhu is huge. So next week we should be starting Alone Against the Dark for 7th edition, published in 2017. That kind of goes along with this. Now, we played Alone Against the Dark just a few weeks ago. So it might be very similar. We might fiddle with it so it fits as a different story in the same timeline. Just a little bit, but it might be almost identical. So we're going to see what happens, see what they do with pushed rolls. Since this was meant for either use with the quick start rules or for this starter set, then there's a little bit less rules stuff, I think, in it than there might be, like pushing rolls, burning luck, that kind of stuff. I don't know if burning luck's even talked about in the starter set. I haven't looked carefully through those rules. But we're going to try Alone Against the Dark again next week. We're going to see how they have us set up a character and keep on with this Alone Against as long as we've got them. So, thanks for watching, everybody. As always, I appreciate it. Here, we'll turn this back on. My little fancy stuff here. And we'll end up with Alone Against the Flames. Again, thanks for watching. Roger, thanks for watching and commenting. Appreciate that. And I will talk to y'all next time.